Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a state visit to the United States. The landmark trip is seen as a turning point for bilateral relations, with deeper cooperation in the defense industry and sharing high technology in sharp focus between the two nations, US and India. Today, Prime Minister Modi will lead the celebrations of the International Day of Yoga at the United Nations headquarters. Starting in 2014, the International Day of Yoga has become one of the major events in the annual calendar of activities of the UN. After meeting the Prime Minister, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the electric car maker will try to be in India as soon as humanly possible.
It was a fantastic meeting with the Prime Minister, and I like him quite a lot. He visited our Fremont factory several years ago, and so we've now known each other for a while. He really wants to do the right thing for India. He wants to be open, he wants to be supportive of new companies, and obviously, but at the same time, make sure it accrues to India's advantage.
Washington, D.C. will roll out the red carpet on the 22nd of June, when Joe Biden hosts Narendra Modi. The US President will hold bilateral talks with the Indian Prime Minister. On the 23rd of June, the Indian Prime Minister will be hosted by US Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. PM Modi's US visit is expected to give India access to critical American technologies, ones that Washington rarely shares with non-allies. The two countries are working together on advanced tech from AI to semiconductor chips and quantum computing, especially in the defense sector. The Biden administration is all set to sign a deal that would allow US-based General Electric to produce engines for military aircraft on Indian soil. While India can manufacture jets domestically, it is keen to get the technical know-how to make aircraft engines. India intends to produce more than 350 fighter jets for its Air Force and Navy over the next 2 decades, which could be powered by the GE F414. Now, another expected announcement is India's purchase of 31 armed MQ-9B Sea Guardian drones made by General Atomics, worth $3 billion. The India-US bond is underpinned by not just global politics, but also business and economics. Washington and New Delhi have been moving very close to each other for over 2 decades now. Successive US presidents have displayed bipartisan support for stronger ties with the emerging Asian economy and regional power that they see in India. President Joe Biden has built on that legacy and expanded the cooperation a notch further. The United States sees India as a vital partner in its efforts to push back against China's expanding influence worldwide and strengthen security in the Indo-Pacific, where US is trying to assert itself. For more, our principal diplomatic correspondent has sent us this report from Times Square, New York. This is Siddhant Sibal for you.
Day one of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in United States, and it's a day full of a lot of developments. The Indian Prime Minister meeting American CEOs, Elon Musk, members of the Indian diaspora, and essentially the focus now shifts to the Yoga Day, as the Indian Prime Minister will be leading the Yoga Day celebrations at the United Nations headquarters later today, Indian Standard Time. That's 5:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time for 1 hour. And of course, it was the idea of Indian Prime Minister way back in 2014 at the United Nations General Assembly that this day should be celebrated, and over the year this day is increasing in its popularity. But all in all, we will see a visible manifestation of India-US relationship later in the week, as the Indian Prime Minister is hosted by the US President Joe Biden for the private dinner, and then of course also for the state banquet as well. And focus will be on outcomes related to defense, related to critical technologies, and essentially celebration of India-US relationship at a time of great geopolitical flux caused by a very aggressive China, which is something of a concern not only to New Delhi and Washington, but to many countries across the world. Siddhant Sibal for WION at the Times Square in New York.